Hello, this is Kate. Welcome to the Ordinary Earth Song. I thought I would do a reading today using the Archetypes cards and the Wild Unknown Alchemy cards. I just thought I'd do 3 readings, 3 cards from this deck, and 3 cards from this deck. So 1 card per reading from each deck. Okay, I'm going to keep the book there just because they can be useful. Okay, so let's find out what your cards are. I hope you are well. If you saw the reading I did yesterday, I had this mark on my wrist. That's because I'm recording this like an hour after I did that other reading. It's not because I haven't had a shower and a whole day's gone by. It's because it's the same day. I just finished the other reading, got it loaded up onto YouTube, and I was like, I want to do another reading using these cards. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not waiting, I'm doing it now. So, and I'll post it on Tuesday. So, okay, I have 3 cards, please, for groups number 1, number 2, and number 3 for their messages. These cards are quite difficult. Just there's 2 there. Oh, there's 2 there. Oh, okay. So each pile's going to have 2 of these. 2 cards left. Then, hang on. Right. So I swear these cards are multiplying. There's 3 there. There's 2 there. I need 1 more card. Oh, is that group 1? That's group 2. And okay, group 3. Give me group 3. Okay, group 3. Okie dokie, I getcha. Where do I put these now? And there. So that's group 3. That's group 2. And that's group 1. I feel extremely disorganised. So let's do the same. Let's pull some cards. Group 1. There's 2 there. Group 2. Group 2, please. Get 1 card. Group 2 and then group 3. No. And group 3, please. Okay. You got your cards. That's what it is. Sorted. Lovely, lovely, jubbly, jubbly. Okay, what I'm going to do is, because you've already seen 2 of the archetypes for group 1, I'm going to do that. That's group 1, Thanatos. This is group 2, Agape. And this is group 3, which has got the most cards, so it's going to be the longest reading. And you have the seed. So, group 1, group 2, group 3. Take what resonates, watch what you fancy, and I'll see you in your readings. I'm going to start with group 1. So, group 1, Thanatos. A web. It's obviously got quite a spidery vibe. Webs are everything's connected. Now, what on earth is this? What is that? There's hands. I don't know what that is. I don't know what I'm getting from this card. Webs of connection. Ooh, I'm not actually getting a pleasant feeling for this card at all. I don't understand it. The offering. The offering. Oh, a hand coming out of darkness here. Offering something. Interesting reading so far. Coagulation, bringing things together, merging them, not merging, but sort of congealing. Coagulation, yeah, it's like a sticky ball, as it's growing in size as things stick to it. The offering, coagulation, and the peacock's tail. Ooh, that's quite an energy of empowerment, showing off, kind of like attracting a mate, personal power. Okay, we are going to dive into the books for these ones. Archetypes first. Thanatos. LXXIII. LXXIII. No, double X. There's Agape. Okay. Thanatos. Death. Ooh. Okay, that's why I was getting darkness from that card. It's attempting to oversimplify death and sum it up as transformation, but the true archetypal resonance of Thanatos cannot be easily assimilated or contained. Death is ongoing and omnipresent, an eternal response to the gift of birth. Witnessing the end of another being, creature, phase, or stage has deep consequences for the psyche. We are forever changed by Thanatos as it sweeps us under its wings, making us relinquish control in every form. It leaves a mark of ash upon our heart, signifying we have touched the cusp of the underworld and will return to the land of the living eventually, with more compassion and wisdom to share. This capacity is needed in our world. One who has faced the annihilation of Thanatos can face anything. When this card appears, it signifies an initiation into the underworld. Oh, this is why it felt so dark, no? When in light, yeah, that's what I was getting from that, what I was saying about grieving, mourning, bearing witness to all that is. So, oftentimes when we think about death, we think about it in terms of the person who is dying moving on. Whereas this is kind of encouraging us to see it from the person who is left behind, finding a way to move on, going through that grieving process, the loss, that process of guilt, I guess, for wanting to let go, but also not wanting to let go because you miss them so bloody hard. And actually coming out the other end a different person. And that's, for the person that's left behind, is also a process of change. When it's dark, it's fear of or insensitivity to old age, illness, the dying. So that's being blinded to other people's pain. And mourning and grief and feelings around their own fear towards death, their own death. So there's three things here then. There's the person that's died, they've moved on, they've changed already, they've done their thing. You've got the person that's grieving the loss, and you've got the person who is fearing their own death. And actually the fourth is the person that's not bothered about the person that's fearing their own death. So this is quite if you're touched by any of those things, it leaves a mark. And you will be changed by it. What does the offering have to say? I don't know about you, but I lost someone during COVID, and I still miss her. It took about a year. It took to her anniversary, actually, the anniversary of her death, for me to really come to terms with what happened. And it really was a point for me of deepest pain that led to the greatest changes. I still wish it hadn't gone down that way. I would love to have her around still, but there you go. The offering. The gift, the present, the sacrifice. Unlike many of the other cards in the deck, the offering carries a clear as day message and a call to action. As you may have guessed, it is time for something to be given and given up. For the sake of the bigger picture, if nothing comes to mind immediately, though it's likely it will, take time in meditation. Airplane. Sorry. Take time in meditation to consider what must be offered and who is to receive it. It's likely you'll feel attachment and hesitancy. You'll make excuses, but recognize the link between the word sacrifice and the word sacred. One leads to the other. When we offer up something to the greater good, we lighten our load and become more able to serve. Imagine for a moment if you were to offer your whole self unconditionally to the world. For now, start small. When light, this is about generosity, donation and volunteering. When dark, you give with expectations and keeping track of what you give. So the offering is giving without expecting anything back. It's giving up on things that will help the bigger picture. And this is tied in with Thanatos, which is about letting go through grieving, through recognition of other people's grieving, and through the appreciation of that process and understanding around that process. Because the person that's left behind needs as much generosity as the person that's gone, if not more. The offering. When we offer up something to the greater good, we lighten our load and become more able to serve. Once a week, Gandhi gave up speaking for a day, offering himself to divine silence. The offering can come in all shapes and sizes. So it doesn't have to be an actual thing, it can be a gesture. If there is a gift you've been thinking of giving someone special, now is the time. You know, the gift of understanding, the gift of listening, the gift of being there, the gift of compassion towards another, and just generally, if they're going through grief, specifically as well, that can be quite a tricky time for anyone to go through, and they often need someone there to just be with them. There's no solutions they can provide. There's literally just presence, being present with them. Let them know they're not on their own. And in so doing that for them, they give you the opportunity to witness and realise the effect grief can have, and in turn that gives them the understanding required for when it happens. Coagulation. I don't know how these things tie together, other than what I just said, obviously. LXVI. Solidity, adherence, stuckness. Coagulation, or coagulatio, is a great alchemic operation of earth. By way of this operation, we experience that which was fluid turning into a solid formation. The former disparate ingredients begin adhering together into a fixed and solid unit. Dearie me. The result is visible, reliable, and eventually concrete. So basically, a load of stuff gets stuck together and becomes solid, and becomes so solid you could call it concrete. When you hear the phrase, "it is finally taking shape, coagulation is underway," the shadow aspect of coagulatio is that the elements may have come together without such awareness, and in turn they become unconsciously attached. The aspect is that the elements may have come together without much awareness. So there may be things that are sticking together or coming together and forming a solid that are not aware that they've made the choice to actually do that, and they've become unconsciously attached and therefore adhered to this ball of solid concrete, which can lead to things like resentment, because they didn't necessarily choose to be there, but then they're stuck there. They're stuck in this state of... So this is a resentment going on, this grief. This feels like resentment around the loss of someone, because there's no choice about losing someone. Sometimes the parts can no longer separate, even if they wish to. Many long-term relationships have coagulated aspects and naturally occurring. The work of coagulation is to experience the merging with other while not losing oneself in the mush. It's also, from what I'm getting there, right, it's not just about, you getting lost in the mush, or being aware about what you're being stuck to, or what you're joining. It's about everyone coming together that wants to come together and then forming the solid mass, rather than just people accidentally sort of bumping into a sticky mess and getting stuck to it, and then because then they're not going to be a welcome part of the coagulated whole. It's like a group of people who form, some sort of club, and in that club they accidentally take on people that thought they were joining a different club. That they formed a book club, and other people came in thinking they were joining a film club, and that was the last night that either of those clubs could form. So once they'd signed up, they had basically signed up to that club, otherwise they were going to no club. So the ones that signed up accidentally to the book club had to stay in the book club if they wanted to be part of a club. I hope any of this makes sense. And then basically that club becomes a whole. But the people that didn't want to join a book club in the first place may not be happy about still being in a book club and not having a choice. They might bitch and moan and want to know when they can move over, and whether there'd be any opportunity at all to review a film of a book, and blah blah blah. And it could become really awkward and difficult and resentful and bitter, and people become kind of, you get groups of people then, and everyone starts to split out, but it's still a coagulated mess. What you really want is just people that want to join a book club in the book club. You might not all agree about what book to read, but at least it's a book. There's a lot of things going on here, eh? Let's see if the peacock's tail can pull it all together. LV. The peacock's tail is a sacred image in alchemy. The mesmerizing display of tail feathers opens to mark the alchemist having shifted from single to multi-perspective. Okay. This is a great achievement. The alchemist has opened 1,000 sets of eyes instead of one. They've discarded black and white thinking and allowed the full spectrum of colours, nuances and solutions to come into the fold. Creative solutions to complex social and political polarities can be found in this sacred space. The force field of possibilities has opened, and the alchemist has entered a new paradigm belonging to multiplicity, dimensionality and inclusion. Utilise this perspective for positive change while it lasts. When falling back into black and white thinking, as the alchemist will do, envision the splendour of the peacock's tail. Each feather contains a shimmering universe of possibility. Wow, okay. So these things are really all quite disparate. You've got death, grief, change through that experience, recognizing the different levels of experience within grief, the offering, selflessness, doing it generously without expecting anything coming back from that, and coagulation, making sure that you are aware of what you're doing, what things you're joining, what impact you have on that thing that you've joined. You know, it's the groups that you're in. These are all, I say that's, you know, these are different things, and this is about bringing all these things together in oneness, and in awareness, and more. There's way more here. There's way more to even talk about. This is just a spectrum. So group 1, this could be someone who is experiencing being a middleman, middle woman, middle person to a few things going on. And there may be some battling factions going on, some kind of, yeah, it feels like potentially that's what it is. It feels like there's a pull in a few directions, which you're in the middle, and you can see everyone's perspective. You have that overview, and you have the generosity of time and energy and space, but because of the pull, it could be quite exhausting, I would have thought, actually. But then there's opportunities here. There's opportunities here to work with grief, bring the understanding of that change into your own experience and into the experience of others, and to be the voice of reason. And to point out, you know, how people may not necessarily have ended up where they wanted to end up, but they've ended up there anyway. But then, I mean, someone who's grieving doesn't want to be in that situation. This is about having the generous heart, the open perspective, the ability to observe and see. But I think this does come with a kind of caveat. This is from me, this caveat, and the caveat would be, don't sacrifice your own mental health, your own energy. Know when to draw a line and say, I just need to take a break, or, you know, recognise how much you can do and how much you can't do. It's about balance. There has to be some balance in your ability to deal with these situations and your oversight of these situations, because it can be quite exhausting being that middle person, overseeing everything, witnessing everything, being there for everyone, giving everybody your time and energy and space. Because the generous heart will give sometimes to their own detriment, and we don't want you to hurt yourself, essentially. Okay, I need to move on to group number 2, but that was group 1. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Group 2, you chose the seed. Got this little seed here amongst all these concentric circles. It's almost like the tree, the wings of a tree. But it also looks like a pearl. A pearl of wisdom can be a seed. A seed of wisdom can grow. You have the village. Again, looks planting a seed. Letting it grow. The village is the growth of the seed. Anima mundi. Anima mundi. I'm getting like animation, animal, bringing life to things, manifestation. Interesting. We'll look these up. We've got autumn. We have silver. Oh my gosh. Got so many cards. My goodness, I know. Silver. We have alchemical wedding. Oh, gold. Cool blimey, governor. What's that when it's at home? The new pearl. There's another pearl there. And rotation. This is too many cards, isn't it? So much for doing one card. Okay. The seed, the village, anima mundi. Right, let's try and do this quickly. The seed, LX, VI. The beginning, the origin, the pearl. The pearl, that is a pearl. Ooh, the beginning, the origin, the pearl. Hang on, I want to look at Anima Mundi. The soul of the world, all that is. Anima Mundi epitomizes the principle accept all, reject none. Simply put, it is the living soul of the world in all its multifaceted, multidimensional layers, banded together by loving cosmic forces. The seed. Beginnings come in many forms. They are not always a beautiful seed placed intentionally in nourishing soil. Origin stories, like any birth story, are complex, surprising, multi-layered, and usually reveal a central image or detail that represents the fully formed being. Simply stated, the end is present in the beginning, or the entire oak tree resides within the acorn. Whether you follow this imaginal theory or not, know that when this card appears, there is potent generative energy all around. It stirs your very insides and usually results in an antsy, impatient feeling. Pay particular attention to what agitates you. I just feel like that's a blah 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 now. There is potent generative energy all around. The entire oak tree resides within the acorn. Everything's bonded together by loving cosmic forces. Diversity is celebrated, multiplicity is honoured, and nothing is denied, embraced. The constructs of separation dissipate into the wonderfulness of shared consciousness. Anima Mundi is the link between the eternal, literal, and the imaginal, the rational and the mythical. It is the connective fibre that makes life meaningful. This card indicates an initiation on a level of the soul. You will awaken the unique light within and witness how this light contributes to the radiance of the entire universe. The oak tree lives within the acorn. The village presents us with a conundrum. On one hand, it's the place that feels most like home, the place to which you can always return, and nostalgia and comfort draw us back. On the other hand, it's the very place you must leave in order to grow. Around the village, an unspoken boundary exists. One most villagers do not want to cross, though some support your leaving. Still you hear whispers of doubt as you venture beyond its borders, leaving them behind. The energy of the village is present any time we feel restricted by a certain group, community, family, place or ideology. It may have served us in the past, yet staying within its perimeters will never satiate our thirst for life. Thank the village for all it has provided, knowing you will someday return, for now the world awaits. So we've got everything connected, source, all things here right now. We have the oak tree living inside the acorn. One comes from the other, and one produces the other so it can create it, and so on and so forth. All things are here at the same time. That's exactly what this is about. This is about your boundaries and not letting them be set for you. Everything is here right now. If you have your boundaries set, if they are set by other people, you will walk away. You will want to walk away because they're not your boundaries. You did not set them. Just being born in a place doesn't mean you need to stay in that place. We do have a sense of obligation, but whether that obligation is necessary or not is, whatever. But there's a seed being planted here. Within that seed is the community that is the village. The village is already there, and it's always planting new seeds to create new sprouts to fill the village. The sprouts move away because the village's boundaries aren't quite. But the village consists of everything, just as much as the seed does. It's just that this has limited potential to grow and change and be different because it's stuck in the boundaries that it finds itself in. Autumn, I'm guessing that's all about the moving on from harvest to the sleepiness of winter. Let's see, shall we? XIX. Autumn. Oh my goodness. It's a symbol of culmination, harvesting and resolution. The story of our year finds closure and we begin to look toward the horizons of the next one. It is likely this card will appear as an indicator of efforts culminating, of hard work paying off, of fruit hanging low for the taking. Gratitude and generosity are the spirit of the season, so share the wealth of your fortune. Looking back, you realize many hands and hearts have helped you along the way. Holding tight to your bounty won't do you any good. The alchemist shares their wisdom and wealth. They offer their boons back to the world as part of the ongoing cycle. We, like an autumnal tree, come to fruition and then release, I need some water. Mundo is all things. The acorn is the tree, and the tree is the acorn. Autumn is all about being generous and the end of a season. The generosity of the bounty of the fruits that were born on the tree. Sharing the bounty. Recognising, breaking the boundaries. And I bet I said it because I think I told this in another reading, but we've got a cherry tree in our front garden, and there were these ladies helping themselves to the cherries. Now, we're never going to eat those cherries. We never have. didn't even realise the tree had cherries that you could eat until these ladies came along. My dad came storming out, and he was like, "Why? Get off my land!" Those, I was just like, "They're not. What? We're not going to eat those cherries." And he's like, "I don't care. They're taking off our land without asking." And it's just like, for God's sake. I mean, seriously, just have the bloody cherries. We're not going to do anything with them. Genuinely, why would we care whether they take our cherries or not? So he's got a very clearly defined boundary around the house that nobody can enter unless they ask permission. Whereas my attitude is more sort of, the cherries are there, they'll go to waste, let them have the cherries. Though that's a wider boundary. And that's the kind of attitude I think that this is talking about. I'm not saying I'm perfect, by the way. I'm just using that as an example of possible perfection, obviously. XX for V. Believe me, I am nothing like perfection. Silver. Amidst its upper echelon status, silver shines eternally in the second position. It is the lesser sibling. I like silver. I usually wear silver above and beyond gold. Mainly because I don't like the yellowness of the gold. I prefer the silver of silver. A true alchemist does not resist this truth, but rather studies its subtle implications and its wisdom. Wisdom? It just annoys me when people make decisions that thing over there is more valuable than that thing over there because it's scarcer or blah 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 blah. I mean, obviously there are properties in gold which silver doesn't have, which makes it very useful. So okay, I'll just talk myself out of that argument. Silver requires polishing or the surface tarnishes over time. Mirrors require cleaning or the image clouds and distorts, whereas gold sustains its own malleable radiance. Silver asks for our participation. We must work at it. Don't give up now. Silver wants to build relationships like the moon, a mirror or a poem. Let it reflect an image back. With an open heart and one more moment or willingness, the seemingly cold, stark surface of silver opens into the imaginal realm what is there? Your own vastness, the mysteries that beckon you on moonlit nights. Through our daily devotion to silver, we find the truest gold. Right. Silver is mirror-like, cold and dense. How do these qualities affect the surrounding cards in the reading? How does silver reflect onto the others? So this is something we need to work at. We need to work at maintaining the look of silver. To keep it shiny. So we need to work on generosity. We need to work on our awareness of all things being now. Awareness of the boundaries that we set and accept in our lives. What boundaries do we accept? And over here we've got all, source, everything. So we come to alchemical wedding, bringing together of different chemistries, alchemizing. This is all about alchemy, isn't it? Alchemizing something new. This also looks like balance to me. Black and white, yin and yang, the light and the dark. But the merging, bringing them together into balance potentially. The laboratory morphs into a dreamlike dance floor, and all your allies, fellow alchemists, and ancestors are here to witness the celebration of the wedding. Obviously, what was once lost has been found. What was once denied has come fully into alchemist's embrace. The work is often felt as serious and studious. But the alchemical wedding is a moment of levity and lightness. When this card arrives, it is of utmost importance to mark the occasion. Celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. Honour and acknowledge those who have helped you along the alchemical path. You have come so far. Energy radiates from the unity of opposites and the redrawing of life's blueprint. The new form has arrived. The unknown has become known. You'll be back to your existential queries and tinkering ways in no time. So yeah, it's all about balance and bringing everything together, and merging into new chemical. I just realised that these books are really, really wordy, and they don't really say. Anyway, shh, don't pass judgments just yet. Yeah. So we've got to work at this. We've got to work at the balance. We've got to work at the merging, the bringing of new things from this merging of disparate elements. The new pearl, XLIV. I'm going to do a quick scan of this and pick out grit, irritation and waiting. Yes, the pearl is formed inside the oyster by a bit of grit or sand or something that gets into the shell and irritates the muscle inside. So the muscle produces this stuff that surrounds the bit of grit, the irritant, to make it smooth and shiny and lovely. And then we come along like giant monsters, open up the muscles, rip out the pearls and fiddle around with their insides. And then we eat the mussels. Yeah, and I'm not a vegetarian or anything. It's just, it's a bit grim, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, so this would be about us then having that bit of irritation, but finding a way to work with it. Don't become petty and hasty, seeking a return on your efforts. Rather, turn to patience, consistency and humility to remedy the discomfort. Let the magic of time and salt water do its work. Relax, believe and support a fellow alchemist in finding the grit that will become their pearl. So somebody else is complaining about some grit inside them, that something that's irritating them. It's not about becoming the grit monster and completely sympathising with them and be like, oh my god, this sounds awful, blah 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 blah. It's about, smoothing it out, helping them smooth out for themselves. And this is about working with somebody else. It says, don't worry about you right now. The entire ocean is your ally. The pearl is made from only one grain of sand, one irritant. Take a moment to thank this irritant for being so consistently challenging, allowing the pearl to begin its formation. Out of the irritating comes the pearl. I don't know what's wrong with me with this reading. I am really annoyed with this reading. I can't shake the lackadaisical way that I am feeling about this and the way it's turning out. So it's a bit odd. Why do I feel this way? LXIX, rotatio. I'm actually finding the book really irritating. Maybe this is my irritant. This is the thing that's causing, that's creating, am I creating a pearl of wisdom right now? Is that what's happening? It doesn't feel like it, to be honest with you. Right, anyway. Rotatio. Rotation. The wheel. Monotony. Cycles. That sounds like fun, doesn't it? We spend a lot of time in life trying to break cycles. Well, I do, and I think a lot of people that watch these readings do as well, because we're kind of more aware of the cycles existing. Whereas I think other people go through life and don't really realise that they're just living the same day over and over and over again. It may be a different day of the week. It may have different requirements simply because it's a different day of the week, but every Monday is the same, every Tuesday is the same, every Friday we have fish and chips, you know what I mean? It's like, that's the cycle. It's the cycle of life. And it's monotonous sometimes. Especially if you don't realise that's what's happening. Rotatio is the great alchemical operation of the wheel. Through its circularity, it indicates that work performed again and again and again produces results. It reminds us our efforts are cumulative, not singular. Nor is the work ever fixed or finished. Rather, the alchemist rises each day to tend to the laboratory to weave their work into the world. It is the epitome of the alchemical axiom. It is the epitome of the alchemical axiom. Idem mutata resurgio. Although changed, I arise the same. This operation is expressed through images of the circle, the spiral, the ouroboros, and the wheel. The spiral I don't agree with. This is a cycle where even though you are changed, you are the same. A spiral indicates to me that there is change going on because there's expansion every time. A spiral can only be a spiral because it's expanding, and it can only expand if it's changing into something different to what it was. It's following a new path. A cycle goes around in circles. A spiral, and it goes around in circles because there's no actual growth. It's always going to meet. It's always going to meet. It's always going to meet. Whereas a spiral, because there's growth, there's change, it's going to never meet. It's not going to meet. It's going to go up. It's going to go up and around, up and around, up and around, up and around. And the more up and around it goes, the more it spirals out. I don't agree with that. We are just when we thought we had figured it out, the stage can be frustrating and cause a fair amount of restlessness. It is at the heart of all spiritual practices. Yes, it is. Rotatio. It's probably pronounced rotatio or some such thing, but I like it when it sounds like a potato. Potato. Rotatio. Potatio. I'm going to have potatio mash. Anyway, oh my goodness. Yeah. Not sure what we're getting from this reading. I mean, there's loads in here. Cycles of life. Turning irritations into pearls. Smoothing them out. Smoothing out irritations. Smoothing out irritations helps the cycles maintain themselves. Because there's no growth. Balance. Bringing things together changes things. Encourages growth. Silver. You need to polish it, keep it, maintain it, spend time with it. You need to do that with both balance and autumn, which is about generosity, giving, that end of a cycle, but taking the fruits from the previous cycle and bringing it into the new one. And then we have the pearl, the seed. Lots of pearls. was 2. And then we have boundaries and anima mundi. Anima mundi. All that is connected. Source. Animation. 3D. Everything. Anima mundi. Right up there. Breaking the cycles. Moving beyond irritation. Merging and blending. Bringing the old into the new. Spending time with things to nurture them, grow them, realise that they are already there. The acorn holds the tree. And not accepting the boundaries that other people have put us into. Because there is so much more. So much more. And we have the choice here. We can break the cycle. We can break the cycle of living in those boundaries, in that village. I'm going to leave that reading there because it's irritating me a little bit. I think I've got everything I can from it. I really want to move on to group 3. Group 3, hooray! Sorry, it's taken a really long time to get here. Right, so I thought the last reading would be shorter than this one, but it turns out this one's shorter than that one. Hang on, was that group 3 and this is group 2? I've done them in the wrong order. Is that what's happened? That's actually quite possible, isn't it? Anyway, okay, no worries. Not a problem. I'm going to call you group 3 now. I hope you don't mind. And I will check what I did before I post this and write a little thing. So hopefully you would have read that before you came in to watch this video. Sorry about that. Anyway. So you chose Agape. The prayer. Ooh. Liking these cards. The mountain. Going deep. Let's move these over a little bit so you can see them. That might help, eh? Agape, which I believe includes things about aligning the light within. But I will look it up. Because I can't quite remember. The prayer, reaching out. Praying for something. And the mountain is about going into that deep place, deep within. And because mountains are so big, they are cavernous, let's say. You can see this side of the mountain. You can't see the rest of the mountain, and actually if you go inside it, it's a lot bigger on the inside, because you can see, well, if you were to go into the mountain and you know, you can move through rock and stuff, I would presume you'd be able to. I'm imagining in my head that you'd be able to see the entire mountain from the inside, whereas from the outside, the only way you could see the mountain would be from the top. And then it wouldn't look so big. I'm guessing because you'd be far away. I don't know. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Group 3, you have taken, because group 2 was really hard. And anyway. I'm just talking bollocks now. I know I am. Then you got the drowned king. Oh, I have never seen that card in my life before. What on earth has that got to do with alchemy? The drowned king. Bloody hell. Okay. I want to check the alchemy first, because I'm like, that has blown me for 6. I'm like, what has drowning a king got to do with alchemy in any way, shape or form? And it's my reading and I can do what the hell I like. So, the drowned king. Ego collapse, losing face and humility. So I feel like I'm doing that right now. Oh dear. In alchemy, the archetype of the king is often used as a symbol for the ego, the aspect of the self that is attached to its title name and identity. It is said that the drowned king is a required phase in the process of transformation. Only through dissolving who they thought they were is the king able to become who they are destined to be. Oh my goodness, this goes in line with the readings I did yesterday about being a blank slate. Letting go of the ego and all the programming and allowing the blank slate to be filled by divine flow and guidance. Then this goes on about how does the drowning occur? Was it voluntary? Probably not. Not voluntary, that's for certain. Through circumstances beyond their control, the king is brought to their bottom. So this is hitting that wall of fuckedness. It's that hitting that just bleak place of the dark night of the soul. Coming to their knees. When this card appears, expect a huge blow to the ego, impactful enough that it causes one to turn their life around. Prioritising grace over greed, benevolence over brutality, sovereignty over selfishness. The drowned king eventually resurfaces as a fully charged, benevolent being. Recommendation here to watch the movie The King from 2018. Now that's not my recommendation. I have never seen this film and I don't know what it's like, so I'm just reading what the book says. So interesting. So this is the alchemy of someone's ego being destroyed, ripped to shreds, and that person being left to figure some stuff out. And hopefully figuring it out so they become a better human being. Because it's possible that some people go back to old ways, familiarity, and don't learn the lesson until they go through a few rounds of it, eh? Change does happen. It's always bigger for those who go, right, I need to really think about what the hell I'm doing. Okay, so let's see what these other 3 cards have got to say then about. So I've got a feeling these might be quite good for that sitch. LXXII. Nope. LXXII. Agape, where are you? Devotion and unconditional love. What if instead of putting yourself at the centre of your spiritual practice, you put God, Goddess, or nature at the centre? How would this change your approach? Such is the energy of Agape. It is alive. When we are in awe and wonder, our breath taken away by the sacred force that surrounds us and asks for nothing in return. This card can indicate a spiritual initiation that stretches your capacity to love and serve. You sense the earthly as the heavenly and vice versa. Such an initiatory moment can appear in any form And like a healing balm to the modern soul, its effects last a lifetime. The Agape card may also suggest you reassess what you worship every day, consciously or unconsciously. What are you elevating? Where does the sacred ladder you climb ultimately lead to? When in light, it's all about service, reverence, honour and joy. And when in dark, spiritual bypassing, righteousness. Spiritual bypassing. Interesting. It's a weird thing when I was reading that. Even though I was reading it, I kind of blacked out a little bit. I don't know what it said. And I'm being completely honest there. I have no idea what the words were that just came out of my mouth. I can tell you exactly where I got to before I zoned out. I got to, what if instead of putting yourself at the centre of your spiritual practice, you put God, Goddess or nature at the centre? And then I just sort of blacked out. I know I read the rest. I can't tell you what it says, what it means. Maybe that's something I need to work on myself then. What if you put God, Goddess or nature at the centre of your practice instead of yourself? I think I'm trying to think of... I see. Okay. Right, so if we're going through everyday life, we're working, we're living, we're doing what we do in everyday life. And what we're doing that is the centre of our being. That is the centre of our practice, our everyday life. Because that's what we're doing every day. This is saying, what if, rather than just centering on everything that you want, you desire, you need, and blah, 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 for a moment or two during the day, take some time out to think about your spiritual practice, whatever that looks like. And by doing that, you're stretching your capacity to love and serve. You get more connected because you are not just centered on you and your own daily practices and your self-centered, kind of self-required needs. You are actually working on another aspect of you, because you are God, you are goddesses, you are part of nature. Those things are you. But sometimes you have to step out of that day-to-day life and step into the life of the spiritual to really ground yourself and to connect and to bring that aspect more into your daily life. And by doing that, you're stretching it from a 5-minute practice to a 10-minute to half an hour to a couple of hours to it being in your life. Okay, LXV. Okay, the prayer, the worship, the reverence, the homage. Ooh, who likes a bit of homage, eh? I like it on toast. I'm thinking of hummus. I don't know what's wrong with me. What is prayer? When are we in a state of prayer and when are we not? To whom or what do we pray? Archetypally, the practice of prayer has been with us since the dawn of time, as a remedy for the omnipresent self-centered thinking that spins us toward illusion. Wow, what a sentence. Archetypally, the practice of prayer has been with us since the dawn of time as a remedy for the omnipresent, self-centered thinking that spins us toward illusion. Say it how it is, love. Prayer leads us beyond our ego as we move from our little story to the big one. Some say we are in a state of prayer anytime we are not the centre of our own thoughts. Others say prayer is a natural result of gratitude. Perhaps it is simply surrender or service. Whatever prayer is for you, this card reminds us of its importance. Get quiet, low, humble and soft. Bow and touch the ground as your heart lifts to the sky. Though it may be uncomfortable, it is time, nothing else will do. When are we in a state of prayer? And are we praying for the right reasons? Are we praying for forgiveness, for wealth, for abundance, for someone to be punished, for revenge? Are we praying for love, friendship? What are we praying for? And when do we pray? Is prayer when we kneel beside our beds and hold the Bible? Is prayer when we are facing east? Is prayer when we are lying on our beds meditating? Is prayer when we're just sitting on a train thinking, talking to God, spirit, angels, aliens? What is prayer? That's up to you, I think. That is up to you. How do you communicate? And this is part of this practice, isn't it? This is part of the bringing your daily practice into speaking, into communicating with another part of yourself, another element of the energy that makes us who we are. Let's look at the mountain. XXIII. XXXIII. What is X? X is 10, so that's 33. I'm guessing that is 33. So, I like the number 33. It's a good number. The ascent, the peak, the insurmountable. The mountain stands eternally in our awareness, calling us towards its peak. It stirs up stoic and regal feelings, reminding us of a long line of spirits, sages, sadhus, and gods that made their humble thrones with its snowy peaks. I love the sarcasm here. Humble thrones. However, beware. As the mountain can affect us in two ways. It can inspire and enliven us to rise to new heights and peak experience. Yet, it can also create isolation, competitiveness, and an inflated sense of self. Standing upon its heights can activate the purist and the perfectionist in us, creating separation from those we deem to be below. King of the castle, right? No matter how high you ascend, remember that it is within the core of the mountain that the gems, minerals and jewels reside. If you think it's all about going up, you're following the fool's path and missing the miner's magic. Go within, you'll find the gems. I think that's what the cave says. Is the cave next? Yeah, that's the cave. The mountain can affect us in two ways. It can inspire and enliven us to rise to our new heights and peak experience, yet it can also create isolation, competitiveness and an inflated sense of self and ego. So this is, there's a lot here. Duality is definitely present in this reading. You've got inflated ego being brought to its knees. Again, you have inflated ego here. and being careful about what you do with that, because you might be missing the gems inside. Your prayer, what are you praying for? Who are you praying to? How are you praying? Why are you praying? Who are you? Who are you talking to? Why? How? And does praying make you better than another person? Does your specific way of praying work better than somebody else's? Is your way the way and only way to pray? Those are very egocentric questions, by the way. There's a lot about the ego here. And aligning. I've forgotten what it was about. So this is a problem, isn't it? Because LXXII. Where have you gone? It's the wrong book. I was like, there is no LXII. Oh my gosh. This is the chaos. Sorry, I do apologise. Thanatos, Agape. So this is what I read and I couldn't remember, and then it went out of my head again. Because this is something I need to work on, I think. Because this keeps coming out of my head completely. It's like a thread. It gets pulled and then it disappears. I need to put a bookmark in there. I might use that. Ego. Yes. Ego. Centered practice, focus on yourself, on the ego. If you're always centered on the ego, your daily practices are centered on your ego, everything you do is centered on the ego and what it wants and it requires, then you're not connecting. If you take a moment and let that moment grow with your deity, your God, your goddess, your nature, whatever it is you believe in, and allow that experience, that to grow inside you over and over and over again, every day grow bigger and bigger and bigger, then you get ego death. You can discover the gems inside the mountain. You can start again from a clean slate. And you would be regularly praying, regardless of what other people think. Because it wouldn't matter. Because you'd be you still, but you'd be you connected. I might have to watch this reading again because I need to remember this. Why this will not stick in my head. This is not sticking in my head. I could already feel the thread pulling out. This is so bizarre. This is absolutely bizarre. What the hell is going on? I need to write this down. Okay, I need to go write this down. So thank you very much for watching. I'm sorry this was very much all over the place, and yeah, I hope it was at least entertaining. I will see you later. Goodbye.